This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about? I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back for episode 29 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah.
yeah.
And today we are going to talk to you. We're going to drop some gospel on you and cover WWE Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. That'll be 4/8/24. Mike is going to run through a banger NXT 4/9/2024. And we are going to end this episode with AEW Dynamite 4/10/24 with a very controversial portion of that show that has to do with a little bit of security camera footage. We will get to that at some point during this episode. But for now, we're going to start off with the Raw after WrestleMania 4/8/24. Let's get into it, brothers. So if you didn't catch WrestleMania somehow, if you live under a rock or you just, there
By
are
now
no
you've had enough
TVs
time
in your
to catch
house.
up.
Right. You've caught up. We did a whole episode about it. Cody Rhodes is our new undisputed WWE champion. And
Surprise.
the story has been etched in history. It has been finished. Or has it just begun? We
It's
shall
absolutely
see.
just begun.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Monday Night Raw, this episode starts off. It's the game. It's the guy who's making this all happen right now. It's Triple H.
Paul Triple H.
Yes, it's Paul
Levesque.
Triple H Levesque. We're Paul Levesque guys now.
Yeah, you got to notice that he obviously is going by Paul Triple H.
Yes.
Levesque.
Yep.
now.
It's
You
the
know
Paul
what I mean?
Levesque
That's
era, the
what we're
Renaissance
doing, yeah.
era. We are here for
Embrace
it.
it. Like, they're calling it the Renaissance era. I
Yes.
heard.
Yes, and Cody Rhodes, like I mentioned before,
Unofficially.
he
Nothing's been
he
said.
copywrote the term Renaissance era. They haven't officially deemed
It's
it
coming.
that. It's
You
probably
heard it first on
Yep,
the Source.
It's probably coming. So Triple H is coming out, thanking everyone for having the greatest WrestleMania basically of all time, and he says he's here to start a new era, which we were just mentioning, new era. And he's now introducing us to the man who's going to bring us into that era. It is our new WWE Undisputed Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And he's getting a massive ovation. Big Cody chants in the arena for finishing the story. And, he's acknowledging that, though it was tough, Roman Reigns is in fact a legendary champion. And he was finally able to put him down with the help of the Endgame Avengers group themselves, including John Cena, who had Cody's back, including The Undertaker, who had Cody's back. It was very fitting that it was Undertaker, though, because he was like the locker room leader. You know what I mean? He's the one who's there to make sure everything's going right. We even had thank you Roman chants.
Definitely is.
Yeah, absolutely. We even had thank you Roman chants during this beginning opener.
Hey, get this. The crowd acknowledged. They acknowledged him.
They did. And,
He finally got what he wanted.
We spent so much time booing him.
Cody acknowledged him.
Yeah, and Cody. And
He was acknowledged fully.
Absolutely. The whole Monday Night
He
Raw.
must have been sitting at home with a rager.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Even though he has broken his silence, and on social media he's saying, yesterday I mourned, today's day one. So the tribal chief is definitely not done. But we'll see where that goes. And, we're enjoying this segment. It's the first segment with Cody Rhodes, our new champion, and it's surprise interrupted by the final boss, The Rock. And we think he's gone at this point. He's going to go do a movie. It was well documented.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. Nah, says the final boss. He comes out with his fake People's Championship. that he's been carrying around since the Hall of Fame there. And, he gets in the ring. He's getting a massive reaction. He's holding that title high like he earned it, like in a match and won it.
Well, he was given it by the great Muhammad Ali's
I know.
his wife or his sister, or what was it?
Yeah, it was during that Hall of Fame type thing. But, he didn't win this thing in a match. So, unless he's defending it. I don't see the point of carrying that around for too long. But the final boss is here, and he's saying, he's not here to, to cause any trouble, which we always doubt now with him. He's saying that he's actually out here to give Cody his flowers. And that's shocking. There
was no flowers.
There was no flowers. No, there were no fireworks for The Rock. Nothing like that. He said he's here to, give Cody Rhodes his flowers. He did it. He's the one who, and that his dad, Dusty Rhodes, would be very proud. So, Cody's
he
probably
meant it sincerely. It seemed.
Yeah, but cool. Cody is probably still suspect at this point. Because you never know with the final boss, especially this version of The Rock. You never know. But now he's looking at Cody's WWE Undisputed Championship, and he straight up makes it awkward and asks him if he can just hold that title. Can I just hold that title, Cody? He says. And the whole crowd's like, no. We had a massive no chant there.
Yeah, that was a massive no chant.
It was. And Cody then one-upped it and said, okay, you can hold my title if I can hold your title. And The Rock kind of looks like, for a minute, I don't know. They end up exchanging the titles. Nothing happens. There's a "this is awkward" chant from the crowd at this point, and they then get their respective titles back.
That was a different one, the "this is awkward" chant.
This is awkward.
You don't see that one a lot.
I know, yeah. It was definitely cool.
It was a little awkward.
That they did that. Yeah, it was a little awkward for sure. And they get their respective titles back, and The Rock is like, the final boss has got to go away for a little while. We all know why he's doing this movie.
Yeah.
And he says, but when I come back, I'm coming for you, Cody Rhodes, and I'm coming for that title. So that right there plugs.
Makes it clear.
It makes it clear. It it plugs what could potentially be Rock versus Cody for the championship at SummerSlam
or WrestleMania
41.
They're also heavily teasing another thing. They're saying Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins either at SummerSlam or WrestleMania.
Because when you think about it, Rollins was the reason, man. Roman Reigns chose violence when he and trauma when it came to Seth Rollins.
I heard this really far-fetched theory that says that Roman Reigns is going to, and this is not my prediction. I am not saying this is going to happen. It's just I like to live in fairy tale world once in a while. But they're saying that Roman Reigns shows up to SmackDown on Friday, and he shows up with the blue belt.
I've seen that too. And the retired one, yes.
He says, hey, Cody has
I never
the red
lost
belt.
this one.
Cody has the red belt. I never said I was putting the Undisputed up for grabs. It was never spoken.
Yeah.
It was just a match for the red title. I have the blue title still. My streak continues.
It continues, yep.
Right?
Yep, with that one title,
But then you'd have 3 heavyweight championships.
I know, yeah.
And that's why that theory just falls,
and also another thing that kind of
crumbles.
debunks that theory is they gave Roman the gold undisputed title to retire those 2 titles, the Universal and the WWE titles, the red and the blue.
I'm wondering if they're going to use the Rock's title at all and eventually make it a thing.
The People's Championship would be cool, I gotta say, and it does look cool. It's just my only gripe with it is that it hasn't been defended yet. I guess I need titles in matches. So at the end of this segment here, it's the final boss saying that he's got to go away for quite a while, but when he comes back, he's coming for Cody. He's coming for the title, and he then extends his hand to Cody and says that he has to give him something, and he obviously doesn't show, or we are not told what it is, and he tells Cody not to break his heart again. And the final boss rides off into the sunset. That is the end of this segment. What did The Rock hand to Cody Rhodes? Was it Dusty Rhodes' Hall of Fame ring? Was it the watch that he was given from WrestleMania that he just is now giving back to Cody as a slap in the face?
I heard a wild theory.
What was that?
The theory that I heard is that he hands him a like a Zippo or a lighter.
Okay.
Like
I lit,
very dark. Like
I lit your bus on fire.
I lit your bus on fire.
Yeah,
but like,
that's dope.
You're gonna know what this is as soon as it hits your hand.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what The Rock said too. He said, "You're gonna know what this is as soon as I hand it to you, and don't break my heart
Could be
ever
all
again."
kayfabe that his bus
Right.
went up on flames.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know, it's been that
or
good.
it could be not kayfabe.
Right.
And they're just playing off it because they're dark and twisted.
Absolutely.
They have been before.
Absolutely.
So interested to see where this goes.
This was a very cool opening segment for Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. I believe it went about 40 minutes, give or take. It took up a great portion of that first hour, and that first hour was commercial free, so that obviously made sense there.
Yeah.
But Raw after WrestleMania, we're moving on, guys. And next up, we have a shot from earlier in the day with a Judgment Day with brand new World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, Finn, JD, and Dirty Dom. They're all shown entering the arena earlier that day. And then we cut to the new Raw Tag Team Champions, Awesome Truth. They are shown arriving as well to the arena, and we end it with a shot of the brand new, and I still can't believe I'm saying this, the brand new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn is shown arriving with his family.
Can we just mention that in the prior segment when they held up their championships,
Yeah.
R-Truth popped up with his championship?
He did.
And,
he did. And
he
he's
was kinda
still
just like he's still saying he's in the
still
Judgment
saying
Day,
that he's
this
in the
and that.
which
It's
makes
like-
it that much
but-
better because he just won a championship with Miz.
Yeah, but then the Miz comes out and he's like, "You're not in the Judgment
Yeah,
Day."
the
knock
Miz
it off, and he
is so
knocks it off,
patient
and-
with him.
yeah.
You know, knock it off now,
Yeah,
Truth.
it's
Come
almost
on.
like he knows them. You know?
Exactly. We start Monday Night Raw off with a non-title match. This was quite the surprise. It was Shinsuke Nakamura versus NXT champion Ilya Dragunov on Monday Night Raw, and we did not expect to see Ilya on Raw, but I think he did a great job. He looked really good, and I guess Nakamura's the resident jobber now. He's that heel that can just work with anybody and have a good match, and a good match it was. They both had their shining moments. Dragunov grabs Nakamura and delivers a vicious powerbomb towards the end of this match, and he follows up with an H-bomb. It's a falling forearm to the face as well. Ilya then connects with a running headbutt that they're calling the Torpedo Moscow for the win, and your winner by pinfall is NXT champion Ilya Dragunov, who is ready for the main roster, in my opinion. Send him up.
He's going to lose that belt first.
Yes, he does. And after that, very, very pissed off Drew McIntyre is shown entering the arena earlier that day. We are being let. It's being led to us now that later tonight, McIntyre will compete in a number one contenders fatal 4-way match with main event Jey Uso, Ricochet, and Bronson Reed, and the winner of that match would be the number one contender for Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship, the newly acquired, cashed-in World Heavyweight Championship. And first match of the night here, guys, it is a 3-on-2 handicap match. It is the Judgment Day members Finn Balor, Dirty Dom, and JD McDonough versus the Raw Tag Team Champions, Awesome Truth, The Miz, and R-Truth. And this match starts going, and it's uneven right now. It's a handicap match, but earlier, R-Truth was talking about an imaginary partner.
Yes,
right,
he was.
and we were kind of thinking it was maybe little Jimmy again. R-Truth is a little delusional sometimes, and that does happen
the guy
with him.
you can't see.
He says it's the man you cannot see, and no one, maybe, is this possible? Oh, wow, it is John Cena's music hitting out of nowhere. A little bit into this match, he's the man that you cannot see, and he is the third man of this team, and John Cena gets a massive pop. He runs down, gets on the apron, and, he's just waiting to get tagged in now. He comes in, he does his shtick, the 5 moves of doom, if you will. They hit a triple 5-knuckle shuffle. which Michael Cole called the 15 knuckle shuffle. You really had to sit there and count for a minute
That
to
was
make
a
sure.
great move.
Really,
Great
really
move.
cool. Yeah, then they hit a trio of AAs on the Judgment Day for the win. So your winners by pinfall are Raw tag team champions, The Miz and R-Truth, Awesome Truth, and the mystery.
We're loving
Oh my God!
it.
Yeah, the mystery partner John Cena. We thought it was just a quick WrestleMania appearance for him. I guess not. Now we cut to a backstage segment where they're showing footage of Bronson Reed winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and it then cuts to Bronson himself, and he says Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Jey Uso, they're all going to find out who the real World Heavyweight Champion should be, and he says he's going to win this fatal four-way match here. And now we have Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom walking around in the backstage area. Dom is not happy that John Cena actually showed up. Rhea's saying Cena isn't their problem. Dom put his faith in Andrade and was betrayed, he says. She asked if Dominic's now going to handle this problem, and he says he'll go talk to Pierce. He's going to make it right, and he walks away. And out of nowhere, guys, all of a sudden a chair comes flying into the frame, hits Rhea Ripley in the back of the skull. It is Liv Morgan, and she's the one who
On a revenge tour.
who is on her revenge tour.
Finally on a revenge tour.
Absolutely, yeah. It took her a while. Mommy had some other plans for a little bit, but it looks like now this is this. And Dominic Mysterio runs over and checks on her. The camera just walks right out into the arena, and we see Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in the ring, and that follows us right into this next match. It's a non-title match. It's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, the dysfunctional tag team lately, versus it's Indy Hartwell with Candice LeRae versus NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, another NXT champion on Monday Night Raw. And this match was pretty good. We had Indy connecting with a clothesline and some real nice strikes. Perez then avoids a corner clothesline and starts hitting a running uppercut. Indy sends Roxanne Perez into the ropes for a big boot, but Candice LeRae sweeps Perez's feet, and Hartwell is once again not happy that Candice LeRae is getting involved in this match. And, Candice LeRae's been a thorn in her own partner's side as of late, and this match actually ends with Roxanne Perez connecting with Pop Rocks for the win.
Yep.
That move
That's how
will
it's been going
even
lately.
that move will even get it done on Monday
Stand
Night Raw.
delivering now.
Absolutely. Winner by
Look, she
pinfall.
can get her into the crossface.
She kind of got off easy if you think about it that
Yes, she
way.
did.
Winner by pinfall, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, and Indy Hartwell just stares at Candice LeRae after this. And we move to another backstage segment. It is WWE new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. He's walking around backstage. Jey Uso comes up to him, congratulates him on his massive victory, and Zayn congratulates Jay as well on his big win against his brother Jimmy. They dap each other up, and now we have another backstage segment with NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. She's backstage, and it's Natty. Natalya stops her and says that she'll see her tomorrow on NXT. Perez then corrects her and says that she'll see her on her show. So, that will be interesting as well. And new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn makes his first entrance as a champion after WrestleMania. Good pop for
They're
Sami.
singing the song loud.
Absolutely. Let's go. Sami Zayn obviously defeated Gunther, ending his record-breaking 666-day Intercontinental Championship reign, which he is one of three people, Mike, to pin Gunther since he has arrived. Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov.
Okay.
The only three to have pinned Gunther in his entire main roster run, or his entire WWE run, including NXT when he was formerly Walter. The crowd is singing Sami Zayn's
But Walter was no
song.
Gunther.
No, he was completely different animal now. The crowd singing Sammy's song, and Sammy's like, you know what, guys, you can boo Gunther all you want, but you can't take away that he had that reign and that he's without question the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. But he says, guess what? I beat him. And he's just getting a massive ovation. And he says that, it wasn't him by himself that beat the Ring General. It was not only him, but it was seeing Kevin Owens before he went out there. And he said most importantly was the crowd that fought with him to take him out.
His brother, Kevin Owens.
Exactly. Yep. And then we get Imperium's music hitting. Ludwig, Kaiser, and Vinci are in a nasty mood. Kaiser is saying that for the past 2 years, the Ring General has put all his heart and dedication.
Didn't expect it.
No.
Didn't expect them to come down to fight.
I know.
Gunther's, battle.
Exactly. He's saying the Ring General's put all of his heart and dedication into making the IC Championship the most important championship in all of WWE. And it breaks Ludwig's heart, he says, to see somebody like Sami Zayn holding the championship. He says someone that looks like a bum, 'cause Sami does have that bum look going for him. And Kaiser's very well kept, so they have to throw that in there, just like Gunther, who also, ragged on him for looking like a bum. And as Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci begin to circle the ring, it's Chad Gable now. He runs down to, stand by his side, make the save, if you will. And the crowd's into it. It's really something that's working right now for sure. And after the commercial, though, we get a teaser on Sheamus's return. They don't say when, but we do get a video package on Sheamus. That looked pretty hype, so, he's going to be coming back soon. Interesting to see what situation he gets placed into upon return, for sure. And next up on Monday Night Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania 40, we have a tag team match, WWE Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn and Chad Gable versus the other members of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. And this match was very entertaining. It was fun. There was a lot of really cool spots here where Zayn sets up for a haluva kick, but he instead tags in Chad Gable. Zayn hits Vinci with that haluva kick, and Gable hits Vinci with the Chaos Theory to pick up the victory. 1, 2, 3. Your winners by pinfall here are not Imperium.
Nope.
It is Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn and the Master himself, Chad Gable. And the Ring General is not going to be happy.
They had really good momentum together.
They did.
Had really good
they look like a
chemistry.
good tag team. Yeah, for
cool.
sure. Maybe Sami Zayn joining the Alpha Academy as Intercontinental Champion. Who knows? Now another backstage segment. It's main event Jey Uso. He says WrestleMania was personal for him, but he came out on top. And tonight it's all about the main event Jey Uso. And if you want to see him compete for the World Heavyweight Championship, let him hear you say yeet, and then we yeet over to Raw General Manager Adam Pearce's office, and he's with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis and also NXT General Manager Ava, and they're talking to Andrade, and he shakes hands, walks away. Chelsea Green now appears, and Pearce asks if anyone wants to make a trade for her, and Chelsea Green is super pissed off that she wasn't on WrestleMania, and Pearce says he has a special match for her, though. And Chelsea Green wants somebody worthy of the spotlight. And Pearce says her moment awaits. Go out to the ring. Green is all excited. She walks off, and the GMs just start laughing because they know what's about to happen. After the commercial break, Chelsea Green makes her entrance, and she actually ends up having to have a match with the Storm herself, Jade Cargill.
That's right.
And Chelsea Green immediately regrets her decision.
It just adds to the whole comedic part of Chelsea Green.
It's really working for her. She's really good with it. She's really, really good. And she's trying to call it off already. This is Jade Cargill coming out, and Cargill just mops the absolute floor with Chelsea Green, the hot
really
mess.
Does.
She, it did not take her long. She gave her a pump kick towards the end and then hits Jaded, and you could count to 10 for Chelsea Green. 1, 2, 3, your winner by pinfall. Jade Cargill looking more and more impressive every time we see her. Backstage now, it's Sami Zayn. He's walking up to Chad Gable, who's standing with Otis, Tazara, and Maxine Dupree. He asked if they can have a moment. Alpha Academy then walks away, and Sammy's basically, like, Chad, dude, thank you so much. If it wasn't for your help, maybe I couldn't have faced the Ring General and beat him like I did, and he's really thanking him for that extra training. And he says he knows how much the Intercontinental Championship means to Chad Gable, and that he'd like to give him a shot a real shot at this Intercontinental Championship right in the hometown of Sami Zayn, Montreal, next week on Monday Night Raw. And Gable shakes his hand, says he can't wait for it. And next we get Drew McIntyre, not in a good mood.
Nope.
At all. He goes, what happened last night at WrestleMania was complete and utter bullshit. 5 minutes, he says. 5 minutes, 46 seconds. And, the crowd's cheering. They're laughing at him. And he goes, now that's 5 minutes longer than you guys could last in bed with your wives or something like that. Instantly throwing the haymakers out there at the crowd.
He's got to keep this heel going.
Yeah, he's not only disrespecting Punk, he's disrespecting the quote-unquote bondage Undertaker, Damian Priest. Like, he's really coming at him. He's coming at his throat. He's saying Damian Priest is a transitional champion. This is not going to last long. The belt's coming home to Drew McIntyre, he says. And, McIntyre is he's going to come after Punk for obviously, what he did. He took the brace off his arm. He absolutely clocked him with it, and that's the reason why Damian Priest came out and just cashed in his Money in the Bank finally to take Drew's title reign away after 5 minutes. And main event, Jey Uso now comes out. His music interrupts him, and McIntyre is so mad he goes out and grabs a steel chair, throws it at ringside. We go to commercial break now, and here we go, guys. It's the main events, the number one contenders, fatal four-way match. The winner of this match, guys, is the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship held by Damian Priest, and it's Drew McIntyre, of course, versus main event Jey Uso versus Big Bronson Reed, and the highlight of the night, it is Ricochet. And this match honestly went hard, guys. 4 very good wrestlers involved. For a while, you really thought that it could go either way. But there was a point in this match where Jey Uso is heading up to the top turnbuckle, but Ricochet kicks him down the ringside, then looks over and sees Bronson Reed laid out on a table. And Ricochet then stands on the top rope and hits a massive 450 splash onto Bronson Reed through the table. The table breaks super awkwardly, and Ricochet is hung up by the ribs.
I felt like Ricochet and Bronson Reed had a lot of action in this one.
They did, yeah.
More
they
than I
really
thought they
did.
would,
More than you think, more than anyone would probably think they would, yeah. And they went hard. But after that match, that took care of the both of them. We're back in the ring, and Drew and Jay are exchanging right hands. McIntyre quickly floors him with a future shock DDT, does the kip up like he does after that match. And here we go. McIntyre's counting down from 3. He's about to hit that Claymore. But he's about to go, like he's going from the corner, and he's stopped. You're like, what's going on? Why is he being stopped? Dude, it's CM Punk. He's holding his ankle and stopping him from hitting that Claymore. And he's just got this crazy man looking face on. He's just laughing at him, and
sets it up for him.
Sets it up for main event Jey Uso. Super kick onto McIntyre. Connects with a spear. I like that Jay's using that lately. And Jay heads to the top rope for an Uso splash. 3 count. Winner by pinfall is main event Jey Uso. And CM Punk is out here to screw Drew McIntyre any way he can now. So is he healthy enough to come back soon?
The games have started.
They have started. Drew started all of this, to be honest with you. He could have just won that World Heavyweight Championship, walked backstage, but he had to get in Punk's face, and we all know what happened there. And after Punk...
We all know what happened the last time somebody got in Punk's face.
Absolutely. Jack Perry. Anywho, CM Punk is extremely happy with himself after screwing Drew McIntyre. Main event Jey Uso is now the number one contender for Damian Priest's brand new World Heavyweight Championship, and Raw goes off the air. Really good Raw after Mania, guys, I gotta say. And I'd like to note that the setup that you guys saw on Monday Night Raw with no Tron, the open air type looking thing, is what I'm seeing is what the WWE is going to be going with going forward to pack more people in, is what they're saying, and I'm cool with that. We don't need a giant Titantron. You know what I mean? I like how it looks kind of fresh and new, but also an ode to the back, the way back when they just had that little entrance way.
That's true.
And I like it. I'm here for it. Monday Night Raw.
Titantron was pretty cool though for the Rock's
it
entrance
was.
and stuff.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I
course.
mean?
Yeah, I mean that final boss entrance wouldn't be the same without that for sure. But it's a new era in WWE, so we're excited for it, and that is going to end this episode of Monday Night Raw, the first Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. And now we are going to talk to you some more about some NXT coming at you.
Yeah. All right, we got our NXT review for you here. We got the show kicking off with Roxanne Perez coming out to the ring with the title, showing it off. The crowd saying you deserve it.
She was just on Raw. She's having big moments.
Yeah, she tells the crowd to stop saying you deserve it. She's going ultimate heel.
Oh, okay.
She needed that support a year ago. Where were they?
Where was that?
You know?
Yep.
She says, it's all right in the world now. Everything's right. Said she targeted her arm and didn't care if she broke it. So she was going after Lyra's arm.
Absolutely. She didn't
Lyra's
care.
arm is pretty beat up. So
led to her winning that championship.
Absolutely. But out comes Lyra Valkyria. Says she wants her championship rematch. She's got a whole sling on her arm, and it looks
Not
like
looking
she's pretty bad shape. But then obviously, Lyra Valkyria's biggest fan, Tatum Paxley, comes out. And she's like, I'll fight her tonight for the title. It's fine. I'm available.
Yep.
And
my
Lyra's
arm's
like,
not
what are
in
you
this thing.
talking about? And Lyra starts like apologizing to her for the course of events lately or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Tatum Paxley turns on her and throws her into the stairs.
Man.
And the refs come out. And then, they clear that up. And then all of a sudden, Natalya pops up. Challenges
She
Roxanne.
said she was going to be there. Yeah.
Challenges Roxanne for the title. Roxanne says hard pass. Denies that.
Sorry.
But out comes Ava. She apologizes to Roxanne, but says that's not how it's going to work, and it's a new era around here.
Yep, she's the GM. So.
Says the match is happening. Roxanne swings at Natalya. She tries to put her in a sharpshooter.
Oh, wow.
But Roxanne actually gets out and runs up the ramp. Like a coward.
Scurries away like a cockroach.
Yep. Then backstage we have Axiom and Nathan Frazier pumped to be in this fight and have
They
the
got this
second
big
title
chance tonight. Yeah.
They are talking about how they need to get the job done tonight in their rematch against the Wolf Dogs. They say that if they lose the match, they will never tag team together ever again.
Wow, that's some strong words.
Kind of dramatic, in my opinion.
Extremely dramatic, especially going against a team like that. You got to be confident for sure.
Then we got Chase U backstage. Fallon Henley and Kalani are getting awarded by Chase U. JC Jane and Co. comes into the room, asks if Mr. Chase himself wants to tell Thea the real reason he lost the money for the school. She then reveals that it's because he placed a wager on Thea's big match.
He's betting. We're doing sports betting over here, guys.
That's
at
why
NXT.
he had lost. That's why he had lost all the money, and that's why JC Jane had to come bail him out.
Gotcha.
So now we have a match: Izzy Dame, Kiana James versus Fallon Henley and Kalani James.
Let's go.
Yeah, pretty intense tag team match. We got 4 popping NXT superstars.
Shawn Michaels is doing it right for sure.
Yeah. And let me just add that they are adding a NXT North American women's title.
I think that's needed.
It was
I like that a
announced.
lot.
And
Where's that
talking
in the
about
main
4
roster?
Great, superstars here in this tag team match. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of talent. It's overflow right now, and they need to do the same thing
Absolutely.
in the upper leagues too. They
Absolutely.
need to have a secondary
Follow
title.
suit here. Thank you,
it should
Shawn
definitely
Michaels.
happen. And they should bring back the NXT tag.
Maybe
team
the women's
championship.
intercontinental championship or
Yeah,
something.
that'd be
You
cool.
know,
That'd
I'm
be
down
really
for
cool.
anything at this point.
Yeah, so we started off with Kalani Jordan getting the better of Kiana James. So Izzy Dame tags in with Izzy getting the better of Kalani. She tags in Fallon. Fallon dominates. She really got a good style, Fallon. She's been doing really good. She got this country western vibe.
I hear
to her.
good vibes. Yeah, I hear good things.
Then they
man.
clear the ring with some tag team moves. So Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley just clear the ring.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Izzy Dame back in and dominating Kalani Jordan with her power. Fallon comes in to save the day, dominates Kiana and Izzy at the same time, full of energy, full of it.
Yep.
Out
Just
of
full of
nowhere,
piss and vinegar.
Kiana hits the 401k on Fallon. It was just like out of nowhere. All of a
Boom.
sudden, 401k on Fallon. 1, 2, 3. Kiana James and Izzy Dame win. And the heels take the victory in this one.
Yeah, it's got to happen sometimes, guys.
Then we have another Javon Evans hype video. He's apparently coming from Level Up.
Okay.
He's
So he's Farm League.
They
Farm
call
League,
him
yeah.
Bouncy. He's always bouncing off everything.
Okay.
And, it was definitely prevalent in this fight. He says he's fighting tonight, and then all of a sudden it scripts backstage, and Scripps is talking about he's fighting tonight, so that's weird,
Yeah, right.
So that's the fight, I guess. Javon Evans versus Scripps.
That's what it's gonna be.
But out back, we have no quarter catch crew, and let's just add that Drew Gulak has been removed
boy.
from the NXT roster
Yes.
following allegations with Ronda Rousey. So they have a
There was an
threesome
incident.
going with no quarter catch crew now, and they're out back with the family. They start beefing, and they challenge to a tag match tonight. Same old scenario. They come over,
Yep.
start talking beef, and then, hey, we got a match tonight.
Yep. Who's it going to be?
So now we got Scripps coming out with OTM. Evans follows next with a big pop from the NXT universe.
Yeah.
for
Those
him.
crowds are hot, man. They're into it 100%.
Evans was showing early that he has the speed and height on his jumps and using the ropes as a springboard frequently in this match.
Nice.
It's really cool
yeah,
to watch.
smoke them if you got them,
Exactly. Scripps tries to power on Evans, having some moments in the ring, and a couple near falls actually on him. Evans with like a Cody Cutter like move off the ropes.
Okay, springboard cutter, yeah.
But with a backflip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he like jumps off the ropes in a backflip. And
I'm
then
envisioning
catches his
it
head,
in my mind,
Catches
yeah.
his head and comes
Yep,
down like a
that's
Cody
dope.
Cutter. It was like something I haven't seen before.
That's really cool.
So that was cool to see from this new guy that they're really touting. So it's good to see him deliver.
Yeah, he's got to deliver, man.
Yeah, Evans has a spot flying out of the ring, landing on all of OTM, which is pretty impressive. Gets Scripps back in the ring. Evans with the jump up the middle, and it's kind of like Tiffany Stratton's.
The BME.
But he just
the
goes up
PME,
the second
yeah.
and third rope.
I see. He doesn't start the bottom one like Tiff
Yep,
does.
and then
Yep.
does like a McTwist kind of thing into
No
the
shit.
opponent.
That's dope.
He gets the 1, 2, 3. And can I just add that this guy is just 19 years old.
19 years old. Wow.
So bright future for him.
Yeah.
It's looking good. Hey, and then we have Ridge Holland backstage. And we don't know why he's here. He supposedly
Right?
retired.
He said he was done. What's going on,
But he
Rich?
says that he blacked out and lost it when he hit Gacy with the chair.
I see.
Gacy pops out of
Here we
left
go.
field through the curtain.
Does he come out of a dumpster or something?
He's just
What's he
taunting
doing?
Ridge, but Ridge is kind of just trying to avoid Gacy. He doesn't want to get in any trouble. He doesn't want to get riled up. So
Right.
he's avoiding him, and he bumps right into LWO. And they say they aren't buying it, and they're not buying the whole "I'm sorry" act.
Yep.
And then he accidentally goes to leave and bumps De La Cruz and hurts him.
Oh,
and
no.
they're all like, "Look, you're a monster." You know
See
what
what
I mean?
you did? You know what I mean?
It's funny.
They're
But then
cashing
we
in
have,
on that.
we have the match that we've been waiting for: Roxanne Perez versus Natalia.
That's a big
for the
one.
women's
Natalia's
title.
a veteran, man.
Another back and forth fight from the jump. Natalia gets the edge using her power on Roxanne. Roxanne asks her for her hand, but then tries to kick her. One of those old tricks. Turns
Like,
around
come
and
on,
gets
a little
slammed.
show of respect, but nah.
Yep. Natalia does a running walk on her back, which is pretty kind of cool. She was sitting up and she kind of
Nice.
walked. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a really cool move. Check that match up. You'll see it for yourself.
Natalia's a vet, man.
yeah.
She's seasoned. I believe that no one has had more singles women's matches than Natty herself. And she's got to be tough, man. She's the daughter of the Anvil, Jim Neidhart.
Well, she forces Roxanne outside, where Natalia gives her a leg slide to the face.
Nice.
And powers her back into the ring. Roxanne with some moves outside the ring as well to take control. Smashes Natalia into the announce table and into the ring, dominating her against the ropes. Roxanne with a submission. Natalia breaks out. They battle back and forth from here. Natalia goes for a sharpshooter.
Got to go for
They
it again.
trade roll-up pins. Back to the sharpshooter. Then Roxanne gets the crossface.
Oh, she
Goes
got out
for
of the
pop
sharpshooter.
rocks.
Wow.
Yep. Goes for the pop rocks. Gets countered and put into the sharpshooter.
She
But
hit it again.
Right in the middle of the ring. She drags her back into the middle of the ring.
Oof.
Perez fights to the ropes. Out to the ring comes Lola Vice randomly.
Oh, wow.
And nails Natalia. Roxanne gets the pop rocks for the
That's
1,
gotta
2,
be
3.
it. Yeah, there
and
you
that's
go.
It. It's
Wow.
kind of like weird, but
That
you
sets
know.
up a little feud there
Yeah.
with Natty
And
and,
when-
Lola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Natty comes out, she comes out with the Raw brand too on her thing. So
Okay.
it's like, why are
Yep.
you even here?
Yeah, right.
And I don't know.
I mean,
but
there's
hey,
really no place for her on Raw right now. I mean, how much can she job? You know,
if there was
she's
a
a well
secondary
respected.
women's title for both brands,
There you go.
there'd be plenty.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? She could
Get
definitely
on
grab
it.
one of those. Or if they did that and they split the women's titles as well, the
Yeah.
women's tag team titles to 2 sets.
Yeah, well, they
this-
got to do something. The women's tag
Yeah.
team division is dead.
They could open
right
that division
now.
right up.
They
you know?
they have the
So-
talent to do it. If they, you know, even like we've mentioned this before, even like maybe a women's trios title. You know what I mean? Where the big three could be champions: Naomi, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. We need to do something. We need more gold,
That's right.
man.
Now, the No Quarter Catch crew comes out for the tag team match. It's going to be Bourne and Kemp for the members of No Quarter Catch
We
crew.
find out right then and there. Yeah.
Yep. And they take the match because Gulak is gone. baby,
Gulak is
gone.
in the gulag.
In the gulag. Out comes the family, and the match is underway.
family.
Crucifini and
Spicy
Stax
meatball.
have a great chemistry together in the ring, like better than I thought. I was kind of like, "Ooh, what's this going to be all about?" They're pulling off moves together. Miles Bourne with the power, and Kemp showcasing the power as well, as they pick on Stax. They really pick on Stax for most of the match. Stax ends up burying Bourne over the top rope, like actually like burying him over the top
Yeah,
rope.
yep.
And
Not looking good.
Crucifino ends up taking care of Kemp and gets the 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
And then the family gets a much needed victory after the big loss
They
for
did need
the
it.
Dawn at
Yep.
Stand and Deliver, and we're happy to see that.
Bounce
we're happy
back
to be moving
victory.
Moving on because now we get to see the new fan favorite, Obafemi, coming
Yeah,
out
the
to the
monster.
ring. Some things in life are inevitable, he says, and he knew he was going to retain. Gives Josh Briggs and Dijak credit, but says they are so impressive that it puts him at the top of the mountain now.
Yeah, for sure.
Out comes Ivar. And Ivar is coming out
On
and it's
NXT,
weird.
what?
Oh, it's weird. Ivar comes out and he's not in the Viking Raider uniform.
Oh,
he
really?
comes out in street clothes.
Oh,
and
wow,
he comes
okay,
out with like a
okay.
biker's vest off. Like
He looks
leather
like he would be
biker's
that
vest.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whole different look for
Really?
Ivar. Yeah,
He
you
kind
gotta
of needs
check it out.
repackaging anyway,
Yeah,
man. The
it
Viking
kinda
Raiders are
worked a lot
done.
better, and he was like very on the mic and vocal.
Yeah, really?
Like, way
Really?
wicked talkative
No
on the
makeup,
mic.
nothing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that guy can move in the ring. He's got moves, dude.
He says at Stand and Deliver, that fight that obviously, you know, Obafemi was in was his kind of fight.
Yeah.
Says he's jealous. He wanted to be in that fight. Not for the title, for the fight, he said.
Just for the fight
Yeah.
itself. Okay.
Says he's the one that can take that belt. He puts his hand on Oba's belt, and Oba hits him, but Ivar gets the better of him on it.
Wow.
And it ends up fading out after that. Metaphor backstage gloating about it being the biggest weekend in WrestleMania history. Dijak comes into the room. Dijak warns Dar, who popped off at the mouth, and then walks away. Not sure what's coming of it. Some little interaction there.
Something's going to be brewing.
Jada Parker out to the ring with OTM. She's going against Brindley Reese, who has Idris and Malik with her. They're seeming to faction up a little bit. Starts off with a power struggle between the two, fighting for power in the match. Jada gets control first, using her power, beating Brindley up, like beating the crap out
Yeah,
of
just
her.
ragdolling her.
Yeah, Reese gains back control, showcasing her power and high-flying moves. Big spine buster for a near fall on Parker. Parker hits Reese with a huge hip check. Seems to be her move. Big hip check to Reese, and
Yeah,
she
that
gets the
can be
1, 2, 3
devastating.
on that. And it's starting to look like Reese is starting to get a little bit of traction here in NXT.
She's rolling.
Looking good. Next, we have Ariana Grace backstage with Saul Ruka. She's
Who's
preaching.
awesome.
She's preaching, being her annoying self. And, Saul Ruka's a very laid back, chill,
Yeah.
smoke weed kind of person.
She's a hippie, man.
And Ariana Grace is so Mrs. Perfect, and she says she was the best kept secret of WrestleMania weekend. They are both excited for the North American Women's title,
Yeah,
but
as
as
they
Saul
should be.
Ruka gets pretty excited about her chance to win it, Ariana gets very stuck up and leaves. But then all of a sudden, randomly, Lola Vice pops in the room, and she's
back
frustrated.
again.
Saul Ruka gives her some legit, good advice. And Lola just takes it the wrong way.
Of course.
And gets competitive and leaves, setting
Of
up a
course.
match between those two. You know that. Next, we have the Wolf Dogs versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
Big match.
For the tag titles, the NXT tag titles.
That's a big one.
Yep, we have Braun Breaker and Axiom starting it off. Braun counters Axiom multiple times and powers him down. Eventually, he can't keep up with the Axiom speed, though. Breaker breaks loose, hits all the ropes, and does that thing where he hits all the ropes.
Yeah,
and
like the ring shakes. I swear to God, it
train
does.
going through Axiom, he spins out, and then he ends up tagging Frazier. More of the same between Baron and Frazier. He's beating him up, and Frazier's using his speed. And it's power
Corbin's a
versus
big
speed
guy.
in
He's
this
not that
match,
very. He's not very fast. Yeah,
they're really showcasing the power versus the speed.
Yeah.
The speed dude is getting the better of the Wolf Dogs with high flying moves in and out of the ring. Braun and Baron take control back with more power moves and near falls. You'd think they have it when he hits a spear. It's crazy in there. Frazier comes in guns blazing. Impressive moves. Tagging in Axiom, who does a huge frog splash off the top rope.
Dude can
immediately
fly.
Followed by the 450. But Baron breaks up the pin.
Corbin with the save.
Yep. Axiom jumps off the top rope into a spear, which is pretty cool.
From Braun, I assume. Yeah.
Wolf Dogs go for a tag move on Axiom. They reverse. Frazier tags in, hits Breaker off the top ropes, gets Frazier up for the double team Midlands, but kick out after that.
Close, man. It's close.
Fans chant NXT. They're really loving this match. Speed duo. I'm calling them the Speed Duo.
That's cool.
Easier.
I like it.
Speed Duo, the Speed Duo.
The Speed Duo.
Overwhelming them with their quickness. Huge jumping knee from Breaker. Braun misses the spear.
It's not like him.
And he goes into Baron. He doesn't go into him. He just stops at him, and they kind of have an oh crap moment. Sets up the Phoenix Splash for the 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
And Axiom and Frazier win the match, take the tag titles.
And new NXT
and then,
tag champs.
Braun and Baron get out of the ring, but all of a sudden some music hits. And they're confused.
Okay.
It's the Final Testament.
Wow.
Final Testament.
Wow.
Come from the
Didn't
front.
expect that one.
It's some of them come from the front, but it's actually AOP from the back.
Oh,
beats the
they're
snot out of
doing the
Speed
dirty
Duo.
work.
Final Testament holds up the tag titles and seems like a
Wow.
force to be reckoned with. That might be the way they're going to go.
Foreshadowing for sure,
I'd
yeah.
like to see AOP with some gold. That'd be cool. Interested to see how it goes. Josh Briggs sustained 2 cracked ribs at Stand and Deliver. Just wanted to put that out there in the midst of
tough.
this NXT review. Then we have our final segment. It's not a final match tonight.
We get a
It's final
segment. Sometimes that could be better than just a thrown together match for sure.
Out comes Trick Williams to a
Oh,
massive
man, yeah, he is
NXT
so
pop.
over
Whoop
right now.
That Trick.
So
And you got,
over.
Booker T doing the background noises in the
Oh, I
background.
love him.
Stuff.
I love him.
So he said that Stand
Shucky
and Deliver
ducky, quack, quack.
was a war and compliments the crowd for showing up for it. Pumps up NXT, gives Carmelo Hayes credit, says he wouldn't be here without him. But he had to show him exactly who Trick Williams is.
Yeah, he ain't no trick.
Talks about all the title changes that are being going on and asking when he's going to get his own title. What's next?
Where's my title
He
shot?
knows what's next. He wants to slay the Mad Dragon for the NXT Championship.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough feat.
Calls Ilya out to the crowd.
Interesting.
Out comes Ilya. Says he has the Trick Willie charisma that NXT needs.
Yep.
He pumps up Trick. Trick quickly changes the subject to a title shot.
Oh, yeah, he wants it.
Yep. Says he's at
He's
the top
earned it.
of the list of hungry. No, actually, it's Ilya that says that he's at the top of the list of hungry competitors. But Ilya says no to a title shot.
Ooh.
He's playing hard to get. He's just playing hard to get.
Yeah, right.
Said
He
he
just
had
defended.
his chance and failed, and another superstar may deserve it. Trick says nothing is going to stop him. Says he can have his match in 2 weeks at spring break. So very quickly,
So he's gotta
Ilya
wait.
says you can have your match in 2 weeks at spring break, but if he loses, he has to leave NXT.
Ooh.
So if Trick
Wow.
loses, he leaves NXT.
He's gone, yep.
Loser leaves town match, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
Trick says that if he doesn't win it, He doesn't belong there anyways.
Even
He
better.
accepts. Then all of a sudden, they're accepting. They come to an agreement. Carmella pops out, cleans house, beats up everyone, grabs the title, lifts it up,
You knew it
rubs
was
it in
coming.
Trick Williams' face. Carmella says next week he wants Trick in a steel cage.
Ooh,
Fades out.
wow. And that is
NXT.
how you end a show, folks. Wow, that is pretty epic. So I guess we're going to see the two of them, Trick and Mello,
Next week,
in that
steel
steel cage. That is
A lot of
awesome.
good matches next week, too. Check out that card.
That is dope, and that is going to end this portion of the show, the NXT coverage, and we are going to transition into our final show. It is our coverage of AEW Dynamite, a very controversial episode of Dynamite 4/10/24. Let's get right into it. And the show begins. It's supposed to be World Champion Samoa Joe against Dustin Rhodes, the Natural, in a World Championship Eliminator match. And as Samoa Joe is making his entrance, here comes our guy Swerve Strickland, and he attacks Samoa Joe from behind during this entrance. And starts the show at Swerve's house, and he's not even in this match. He's not even
Whose
part
house?
of it. Swerve's house. He's not even part of this match. He just decides to attack Samoa Joe, and he lays him out, puts him through a table, and medics and referees are out there to check on Samoa Joe. It's not looking good. This match that was supposed to start AEW Dynamite is now not starting AEW Dynamite, and Renee Paquette's backstage, looking for answers and promises an update later on what's going on with that match. So our now first match of the night is AEW TNT Championship match. In my opinion, one of the greatest matches AEW's had in a little bit on free TV here was an AEW TNT title match. It was TNT champion Adam Copeland, the Rated R superstar, versus Penta El Zero Miedo. And this match was, in my opinion, a 5-star match. It was out of control. Copeland's looking good, but he's also getting it taken to him by Penta. There were times where you weren't sure which way this match was going to go. Penta El Zero has becoming more of a singles competitor. He's becoming more of that. You're seeing more of that from him instead of the tag team Lucha Bros type deal. And I'm really all in on Penta El Zero. He's looking really, really good right now, especially against a legend like Adam Copeland. And after a couple of close calls, Penta tries going for the Fear Factor, does not hit it. Copeland just squeaks by here with a spear. He gets the 1, 2, 3, retains the AEW TNT Championship by the skin of his teeth. Penta here really, really gave the Rated R superstar a run for his money. And post-match, Edge just, Copeland rather grabs the title. He's, he's holding it up for the fans to see, and the lights just go out. Okay, it's completely black. The lights come back on, and it's you don't see him at first, but you see Julia Hart. She's, she's just staring at Adam Copeland. She's got her TBS championship, and from behind, Copeland is attacked by Brody King. And, he's just beating him down now, just really, really pummeling Adam Copeland after this crazy match that he just had. He's choking Adam Copeland. He's got him in a sleeper, but here comes Willow Nightingale now to try to help out. She attacks Julia Hart. Brody King then lets go of Adam Copeland to save her, and Adam Copeland wakes up now, and he's low-bridging Brody King to the floor. And now we are backstage with Renee Paquette. She is interviewing Chris Jericho and Lion Hook, along with Katsuyori Shibata. Jericho says Hook bringing Shibata in shows that he's listening to the strategies of Jericho, and he's saying that all you got to do, guys, is breathe in the same air of Jericho and then breathe in the same air that Chris Jericho breathes, and you can do no wrong, he's saying.
The Jericho hate or the
Yeah.
Jericho love.
We
love-hate.
we have to stay tuned to find out. And they're talking about being a team, having this match, so on and so forth. And they're all fist bumping each other. And Shibata uses his phone to ask what Jericho's deal is before complimenting Renee Paquette on her necklace, because I guess Shibata doesn't speak English, so he's talking to these people through a translation device on his phone. And back from commercial now, it's Eddie Kingston and the new ROH heavyweight champion Mark Briscoe. They're being interviewed backstage by Renee. Mark Briscoe says he feels amazing, but not going to lie. He's in a lot of pain after the war that he had with Eddie Kingston at Supercard of Honor, and where he became the new ROH Heavyweight Championship. Extremely good. Eddie says he's beat up too, but it's pro wrestling, and they got to do what they got to do. And then all of a sudden, it's Adam Copeland. He shows up, exhausted after the match that he just has. He wants to tell these guys that he loves them and that he just wants to know if they're good. He wants to make sure they're ready to go for Dynasty, because he's ready to go for Dynasty, even though he is beat up after this match with Penta El Zero Miedo. And here comes Willow now and Stokely Hathaway, and Stokely's trying to get Willow a TNT title match, but Willow waves that off and suggests a mixed tag team match for next week, and Copeland agrees. And Stokely then apologizes to Eddie Kingston for saying way before that he smells like Newports and Burger King. He said, it's kind of wrong to say that. I'm sorry. And now here comes the moment that we all need to talk about. It's the Young Bucks backstage, and they are talking about the showing. Well, before they get to that, they're talking about they're talking about the footage here, but they're talking about FTR as well. And the last time they wrestled them at All In, there's still some wounds from those days that haven't healed when FTR get that big victory. And but that's
love those boys.
Yeah, FTR, the top guys, the living legends. History books say that FTR beat the Young Bucks at All In, but there should be a giant asterisk next to the win, they say. So now comes the footage from All In at Wembley. It was Jack Perry backstage, and CM Punk was involved. It was his last AEW match, and we got to break this down. We got to talk about this. CM Punk was interviewed WrestleMania week on the MMA Hour, and he was kind of asked about this, which is oddly enough, it was released. I don't know if that was known or not. He was asked about this, and Punk calmly explained exactly what happened. First of all, we just want to say, Tony Khan, you're a fucking prick. You're a fucking mark. Why would you do this? Like, this man isn't even in your company anymore. This time could have been used much more wisely.
You're a buffoon.
You are a buffoon. It is Tony Khan, man.
Learn from your brother, Nick.
Yeah. Nick Khan is out here killing it.
Is it his brother or no?
It's his brother.
Yeah.
Nick Khan is out here killing it, and Tony Khan is just being a fucking mark. He's trying
It's hard to believe that they don't work together.
I know.
It's their brothers.
Know.
Like,
I know.
I don't know. I don't
but
buy
look
the whole,
what Tony Khan's
I think it's all
doing.
staged, even the rivalry between the two things.
You never know.
What I mean?
You never know. But look what Tony Khan's doing here. He's showing this footage backstage of CM Punk and Jack Perry, who couldn't lace CM Punk's boots. And the whole argument, I guess, was Jack Perry wanted to use real glass on an episode of Collision. And Tony Khan asked Jack Perry not to do that. He was not listening to Tony Khan at all. And CM Punk then had to get involved, or he was asked to get involved by Tony Khan. And Punk pretty much said, listen, kid, you want to do real glass? Do it on Wednesdays. Do it on Dynamite. We don't do that shit here on Saturdays on Collision. And Jack Perry apparently was resistant, said, no, I'm going to do it anyway, and told CM Punk to do something about it. So we see in the footage, obviously, that CM Punk shoved him a few times like he said he did. And Jack starts like lunging at him, and then Punk just grabs him in a guillotine choke. He just choked this man. And Samoa Joe is also in the frame back there. He's trying to pull Jack Perry away, while people are pulling Punk off of him, and that's all it is, guys. That's literally all it is. You can tell Jack Perry's being a little bitch here, not listening to CM Punk, who should be listened to. He's a legend. He's a locker room leader as well. But that's the big reveal for Tony Khan, guys. Wow, so cool. Punk choked this man out for being a little bitch. It's obvious that WWE is living rent-free, and especially CM Punk is living rent-free in the heads of Tony Khan and some All-Elite Wrestling personnel, and it immediately backfired on them because the crowd was chanting for CM Punk right after this. And if you want to feel like a failure, Tony Khan, then please just keep doing stuff like this. And it's notable to mention that after all of this airs, CM Punk then went on Instagram and posted a picture of former U.S. President George W. Bush, and in the background it said "Mission Accomplished." So there you go. Once again, people are talking about CM Punk on AEW television, and he's not even part of the show.
He feared for his life.
He feared for his life. Tony Khan feared for his life. You little pussy. You are a prick for doing this, and you just bit yourself by doing this as well. And after the footage now, it's FTR. They hit the ring, and they asked why the Young Bucks aired this footage, because they were close with CM Punk. It was CM FTR when he was there, and that was the Collision Trios team that they had going, which was sick. That I do. Team. Yeah, that I miss. But they're saying they're sick and tired of hearing about this, and they just want to move on. The Young Bucks constantly let everyone know that without them, hundreds of people would be out of jobs, and there'd be no AEW, so on and so forth. And Dax Hardwood, he says he necessarily doesn't disagree, but he's saying without the Young Bucks, he might still be shaving Cash Wheeler's back on WWE TV like they made him do. So there's that type of respect there. But the FTR guys are, they're not backing down. They're saying that they're going to continue. Yeah, they're going to continue to build this for every single man and woman who buys a ticket and spends good money to be there.
Tell them FTR.
You let them know, top guys. They are living legends for a reason. And they say this isn't about Wembley. It's not about All Out. It's about the company that they love and industry that they love in the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And after that, we go to a commercial break. And back from that, we get a hype reel for Bryan Danielson now versus Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin. And this next promo, I've heard quite a few things on the dirt sheets. It's a Will Ospreay promo. And I've heard that Tony Khan presented this idea to Ospreay. I've also heard that Ospreay himself wanted to do this. Basically, Mike, he comes out and he cuts a promo where he's trashing Triple H. Okay, and he's not obviously saying his name, but I guess Triple H was asked about a couple of AEW guys.
He made it clear. Everybody knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, he didn't have to say his name. I guess during Mania Week, Triple H
grinding
was
on
asked,
the boss's daughter.
Yes, Triple H was asked about Will Ospreay, I guess, and in other words, he said, he didn't go with signing Will Ospreay to WWE because he said he was afraid of the grind. You know what I mean? Obviously, AEW has the lighter schedule. It's a couple days a week.
He said he's grinded before Ospreay.
Yes.
I've grinded before.
Yeah, so Ospreay comes in with this promo saying, you're only in I'm afraid of the grind. I hear that I'm afraid of the grind. You're only in the position you are from grinding the boss's daughter. Yeah, bruv. So Will Ospreay with a little jab back at Triple H here, and he's saying he's one of the. How could he be afraid of the grind if he's one of the only guys traveling from the UK to America every single week and delivering some of the greatest wrestling matches this world has ever seen? And he's saying he doesn't know. Triple H he's talking to, he doesn't know what Will Ospreay even fights for, so he has no way, no room at all to say this. And Will Ospreay, he's then transitioning back into Bryan Danielson. He's saying he's beaten them all. He's going against some greats, but he's not going to be considered the best until he beats the best, which is Bryan Danielson. So that match is going to be insane at Dynasty for sure. Will Ospreay is saying he's the aerial assassin and he's on another level. And after that,
levels above.
Oh yeah, levels above, y'all. He says, and I mean, I can't really disagree. Ospreay's amazing. After this, we get a really cool video package from Julia Hart, where it's just pure darkness, and then she lights a match and she's whispering Willow's name, and she's saying, Willow, yes, while she might be very powerful, a lot of heart there. She says she's gonna peel back Willow's mask and show all the insecurity she has. She says she's gonna turn Willow's smile into a frown. She's really gonna bring forth her demons. Julia Hart is really, really playing this creepy character very well.
Yeah, I think she's really doing good. She's really reaching that next level.
She definitely is, and she's been a great TBS champion, a fighting champion. So now we have to wait till Dynasty for the two of those ladies to to clash before before Mercedes Moné gets her shot. And next match of the night, it is a trios match. It is Lion Hook and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions. And this match did not go very well for Lion Hook. Jericho and Hook end up arguing on the floor. Shibata catches Lee into a sleeper hold, and there's some interference, and Shane Taylor cracks Katsuyori Shibata with a right hand, and Moriarty gets Shibata up while Lion Hook are still arguing, and Lee Moriarty wins by pinfall with a brainbuster on Shibata. Post-match, now Hook is heated. He is livid. He tells Jericho to get the fuck out of here, pretty much, and he's checking on Katsuyori Shibata, and Jericho just quietly and sadly walks off after this, not knowing is Lion Hook done or is Hook just overreacting? We'll have to stay tuned to see. We now go backstage to Renee Paquette, and she's with the Natural, Dustin Rhodes, and we now find out that this match is actually going to be the main event now because of what happened with Swerve Strickland.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, main event now. Dustin Rhodes, the Natural, is going to go against Samoa Joe.
Very interesting.
Absolutely. The Natural, Dustin Rhodes, cuts a promo on how he's going to get it done with grit, passion, and work ethic, just like he does every other single night. And he's been on a decent run in AEW recently, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen there. Next match of the night, we get another jobber. It's Cristiano Argento versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, Continental Crown Champion.
Here he is again.
Again, making it rain and not making me impressed. They keep putting him against jobbers, and I think that's the problem. He needs to, really go in there with somebody who can have a really good match with him, because I still don't see the hype here. I really don't. Very bland. I mean, the entrance is cool. Don't get me wrong. The name, the Rainmaker, the way he's presented.
I don't like any of it.
I like all that, but I am not seeing what is supposed to be the hottest free agent signing.
Especially when they're trying to luck and they're all about wrestlers and wrestling.
And he's
so
not
I expected
doing
him
it.
to blow the top off.
Yeah, you expect him to be like a Konosuke Takeshita, which that dude is unbelievable. But we haven't seen it yet.
No, I expected him to be, another, Will Ospreay type fighter.
Yeah, right. And it's just not that.
Difference maker.
Yes, exactly. But he's the Rainmaker. And Kazuchika Okada wins with the Rainmaker itself. Post-match now, Okada gets on the mic and accepts the Bastard Pack's challenge and says that he'll see him at Dynasty. So this could have the potential to finally have Okada in a match where he can shine against the Bastard Pack. Pack is really, really good. He comes down to the ring with violence on his mind, but the Young Bucks are right behind him, and they throw him into the ring. And once again, now we're getting more CM Punk chants because the Young Bucks are out there. And Tony Khan, look what you did. Good job, bud. Need a rope and a chair? We'll see. FTR come in now, but get overwhelmed, and the Elite stand tall after a chair shot from Okada takes down the Bastard Pack. And backstage now, it's the Bang Bang Gang. It's the Ass Boys and Jay White. They give us a recap of how they crushed Darby Allin's dreams, they say, defended the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships. Switchblade Jay White put a bad beating on Billy Gunn, he says, which he really didn't, because Billy Gunn mollywopped him in that entire match, and it was kind of strange that happened. He says he wants the Ass Boys to go find someone for him to beat up on Rampage this week. It might actually be Wampage if Tony Khan doesn't come out crying. Back from the commercial, Renee Paquette's now she's outside, and we're having a Charleston Champagne Championship toast with Timeless Toni Storm, the women's champion. She now introduces Thunder Rosa to be part of this, and Toni Storm herself, she comes out with Luther, and her half of the screen is all black and white, per usual. She's really got that going for her. Toni Storm then ends this really quick. She throws champagne in Thunder Rosa's face, and then in an act of disrespect, she tries to wipe her face paint off, to reveal her actual face, and Rosa fights back. Luther then breaks them up because it's just a cat fight at this point between the two. Luther, man, he's always there when you need him. Great handler, great butler, whatever you want to call him. Deonna Purrazzo now comes out, and she's got to get back involved in this. And she tries to come to Thunder Rosa's aid, but she shoves her aside, and Toni Storm grabs a big drink of champagne from the bottle and kisses Mariah May as she comes through the tunnel for her match, which is right now with Anna Jay. And this match was really awesome. Once again, Mariah May is looking really, really good in the ring. She kind of has the look and the vibes of a Charlotte Flair, in my opinion. She's really, really looking good lately. Mariah May wins this match by pinfall with a sunset flip, and it was just like a surprise to her that she actually got it done. It was a quick sequence there. After the match, it's Anna Jay. She puts her in the Queen Slayer, but it's Mina Shirakawa. She comes out to make the save, and she gets a pair of champagne glasses and cradles Mariah May on the mat, and they just kiss. Another woman-on-woman kiss in AEW. Is that what they got to keep doing to get pops?
Desperate.
Desperation, Tony Khan, desperation. And now you have to think that this is going to be another thing that AEW is doing. They're going with the sexual stuff to try to, up them viewers. I believe this episode I'm speaking on got 800K, still didn't even do 1 million with this CM Punk footage. You know what I mean? And Tony Khan just needs to focus on the wrestling. That's where AEW shines, is the wrestling, not stupid drama or anything like that. And now we get a backstage or a pre-recorded maybe segment with Mercedes Moné, the CEO, and they're asking her about since coming to AEW, how do you feel about going into Double or Nothing, which is going to be coming up soon, to have your first match. And she says she's excited, for her TBS championship opportunity. She says she's had some battles with Willow. She says she respects Julia Hart and what she's doing for the TBS championship. And she says she can't wait for Double or Nothing. Then out of nowhere, the lights go out on the CEO, Mercedes Moné. You hear some rustling around. You hear some scuffling, and the lights come back on, and Mercedes Moné is laid out on the floor. The assailant is gone. We can only assume it was Julia Hart. The lights go out, House of Black type deal. The house always wins, The lights come on, and they're asking for help for Moné. She looks hurt. She is on the floor. She is wincing in pain, and we don't know who did it. And it is now main event time. It's Samoa Joe versus The Natural, Dustin Rhodes. Samoa Joe makes his entrance limping to the ring after getting, absolutely served by Swerve, or swerved by Swerve. He's got, he's limping. He's got a chain in hand. He's looking to, to really make a statement here in this match with Dustin Rhodes. And honestly, it's a match I never thought I'd see. The Natural Dustin Rhodes versus the AEW World Champion Samoa Joe. I wonder if Tony Khan's putting Dustin Rhodes in the spotlight because now his brother just finished his story. He's going to try to get some of that cash in going on. And now Dustin Rhodes himself has a chance to finish quite a story, a World Heavyweight Championship that he's never been able to touch. It's always eluded him. This was a banger of a match, not going to lie. Dustin Rhodes looked real good. Joe's looking good. There was a point where they were outside the ring battling with each other, and Dustin Rhodes was sent into one of the corner ring posts and busted open like a pig. He's bleeding uncontrollably. There's a huge gash. Start to make you concerned for the Natural himself and how he can finish this match, but he kept it together. He ended up having a fury of offense after this, even hitting a crossroads on Samoa Joe. He threw the crossroads out there.
Of course he did.
That's his brother. He just finished the story, man.
The Burger King to the McDonald's.
Exactly.
What's the inferior version of something else? Like the Amazon brand compared to the regular brand.
Exactly.
That's what you're getting tonight. You're getting Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes.
Great value Cody.
It's the great value version of WrestleMania. Tony Khan's being a complete nutcase. Sorry, go on.
He is, though. He is, and it's got to be talked about because Tony Khan is probably in a padded room somewhere right now, smashing his head repeatedly.
I swear, if it's a total work and WWE is working with AEW,
they're in cahoots.
This could be. I could see the path of this being a total work between the
100%. But if it's not Tony Khan, you are not that bright. Needless to say, the Natural hits the crossroads and gets a 2 3/4 on Joe, almost puts him down. Very, very close. Joe ends up taking this match. It was a close one. Hats off to, they call him the Natural, Dustin Rhodes, for a hellacious fight. Really, really good attempt here. And post-match, Joe is not done. He's choking out Dustin Rhodes now with the coquina clutch. And out of nowhere, it is Swerve Strickland. He arrives and breaks that up with a house call. Strickland grabs the chain, wraps it around his fist, and drops Samoa Joe with a punch. And now he's whipping at him, and Samoa Joe rolls out of the ring. Joe is staggering his way back to the locker room, and Prince Nana grabs the AEW World title that Joe forgot in the ring because he just hightailed it out of there. Prince Nana grabs the title.
It's interesting to see Joe running.
I know. So they're really building up Swerve here. I love it. Usually, Samoa Joe would be like, oh, I'll take care of anybody. It don't matter. I'm Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, bitch. Which is awesome. Go watch that. Anywho. Prince Nana grabs the AEW World Championship, presents it to Swerve, and Swerve just holds the title while Nana's doing that dance behind him. He's holding it up at Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is livid. He's like shaking. He's like foaming at the mouth, and that's the show. AEW
Can we just
Dynamite.
circle back for 1 second?
Absolutely.
To when they did the video clip or whatever they did.
This needs to be talked about. Okay, and during the showing of the footage, okay, we keep going back and forth to the commentary table, and we see Excalibur, we see Taz, and we see Tony Schiavone. And Tony Schiavone is having flashbacks to Bash at the Beach 2000 when Hulk Hogan did the finger point of doom, and he made the same reaction then. He is basically head in his hands. Tony Khan, what are you doing?
Elaborate on the finger point of doom.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's a little bonus here. Tony Schiavone was calling WCW Bash at the Beach 2000 back in those days when WCW was hot, and the main event match was supposed to be Hulk Hogan versus WCW champion Kevin Nash, and it was supposed to be like a real banger, okay? So it was worked out backstage by WCW officials. Nobody knew about this, obviously, crowd-wise, that Hogan's just going to come out, do a finger poke to Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is going to take a bump, and Hogan's going to win the match. And that's basically what broke kayfabe for professional wrestling. They came out. Hulk Hogan hits the finger poke of doom. Nash takes a hell of a bump for it, and Hogan wins the title. And during that moment, you see Tony Schiavone, just like he was during this AEW footage, just hands in his head like, guys, what are you doing? This is not cool. This is not professional wrestling. This is just stupid. And that's the finger poke of doom from the Bash at the Beach 2000. Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash in cahoots. He hits him with a poke. Literally, he pokes him in the chest, and he just flops and gets pinned for a 3. Schiavone hated that then, back in 2000. And
was that because they were both in NWO?
Yes.
And they were just like,
it was a
hey.
work. The whole thing was a work type deal. And Schiavone did not like this, though. And I agree. I feel like it broke kayfabe quite a bit. With the fake back bump that Kevin Nash took, and just laying down for the 3 count. And Schiavone hated that back in 2000. We could clearly see that Schiavone hated this now in 2024 by Tony Khan. He was looking embarrassed. Didn't say a word. If you guys noticed, Schiavone did not say a word through that entire thing. And thanks for that, Mike. It was worth noting that Tony Schiavone was extremely embarrassed by this, I'm sure. He's had a legendary career. He's been through it all with WCW and all the wonderful matches and wonderful wrestling moments that he's commentated on and called. But now he's sitting there during this embarrassing segment and not saying a word. He's just like, oh, guys, come on, can we just get to the wrestling? But that is AEW Dynamite. You take it for what it is. There it is. Big mistake, in our opinion, on Tony Khan.
Two big mistakes,
yeah. But that's going to end this segment of AEW Dynamite on the Source Wrestling Podcast. We want to know what you think. We put up a post the other day about the unraveling of AEW and Tony Khan after this, and a lot of you guys reacted to it. we now just have to stay tuned to find out what happens and goes wrong next in the world of this maniac, Tony Khan. So that is going to end this show. But before we go, we are going to do what we always do for you. We're going to give you a little bit of On This Day in Wrestling History.
And on this day in wrestling history, we got some notable wrestling birthdays. We're not that familiar with a lot of them, so we're going to give a little explanation for each. Flash Morgan Webster, born in 1990.
Okay.
He's known by his ring name Flash Morgan Webster. Is a Welsh professional wrestler currently performing in British independent scene.
UK indie guy.
Where he is a former undisputed British cruiserweight champion and a former undisputed British tag team champion with Mark Andrews.
Happy birthday, Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah. Then we have Christian York, 1977. Best known for his appearance with WCW Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling.
So he's been around.
Champions held by York over the years was NWA World Tag Team Championship as one half of the Bad Street Boys with Joey Matthews.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then we have Mo.
From the Men on a Mission. I do remember Mo.
1967. Mo was best known for his time in WWE or WWF at the time.
It was the F.
From 1993 to 1996 under the ring name Mo. Later Sir Mo, where he held the WWF World Tag Team Championships with Mabel.
King Mabel, later known as Viscera.
Yeah, Men on a Mission. You called it.
Happy birthday, Mo.
Stan Stasiak, 1937.
Stan the Man
he is
Stasiak.
Best known for his appearances with the WWF,
Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
In the 1970s, he won the WWF Heavyweight Championship in 1979. 1973,
It's a long time ago still.
Dr. Wagner. Born in 1936.
No clue who he was.
He's a Mexican professional wrestler.
Okay.
Luchador.
Fair enough. Now we know.
He made his professional wrestling debut in 1961.
Wow. That's before my parents were born. That's insane.
One of his sons works as a professional wrestler under the name Dr. Wagner Jr.
Okay.
And another son wrestled as Silver King until his death.
I remember Silver King. Okay.
It's a little bit of history there.
I believe Silver King was in the WCW.
Yeah. Then we have Antonino Rocca, 1926.
Wow, we got some historical ones here.
An Italian naturalized Argentinian professional wrestler. He teamed with partner Miguel Perez. He was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 1995 and the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame in 1996.
Nice. So we definitely want to wish all of those guys a happy wrestling birthday. And on this day in wrestling history, 1990, speaking of historical, the Tokyo Dome played host to a rare card co-promoted by WWE and All Japan Pro Wrestling. In the main event, Stan Hansen was defeated by Hulk Hogan. In other interesting matches, we had Andre the Giant teaming with Giant Baba to defeat Axe and Smash of Demolition. We also had Tenryu defeating the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And Bret Hart fought in a 20-minute draw with Tiger Mask. And on this day in wrestling history, 1997, ECW Barely Legal, the promotion's first ever pay-per-view, took place at the also famous ECW Arena in Philly, where we just had WrestleMania. In the main event, hardcore legend, rest in peace, Terry Funk defeated Raven to win the ECW championship, and in order to qualify for that match, Terry Funk himself had to defeat Stevie Richards and the Sandman in a three-way match, a three-way dance earlier that night. We also had Taz defeating his nemesis Sabu after months of not even touching each other once. That happened in 1997 on this day in wrestling history.
On this day in wrestling history, since we're on ECW, we might as well stay.
Let's stay on it.
ECW at a show in Indianapolis, Indiana. A unique ECW championship match took place. WWE superstar Taz defeated WCW wrestler Mike Awesome to win the championship, actually.
Oh my God.
On the ECW show.
That's insane.
The match came when Awesome signed for WCW whilst ECW champion and technically still under ECW contract. Dropping the title in this fashion was part of negotiations to avoid legal action instigated by Paul Heyman of ECW.
Yes, the wise man. He was not going to let that slide.
Wise
You know,
man.
yeah, and one more on this day in wrestling history. Today in 2008, TNA Lockdown took place at the Paul Songus Arena in Lowell, Massachusetts, not far from where we are right now. As was typical with this pay-per-view, all matches took place inside a steel cage. In the main event, we had Samoa Joe himself defeating Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Also on the card that night, Christian Cage, Kevin Nash, Rhino, Sting, and Matt Morgan, Team Cage, defeating Tyson Tomko, AJ Styles, Cowboy James Storm, Brother Ray, and Brother Devon, Team Tonko.
Yes.
Brother Ray and
Brother.
because TNA did not have the rights to Bubba Ray. They defeated Team Tonko in a lethal lockdown match, guys, and that is going to be it for the show. Really appreciate you guys sticking with us, and it's been a great week in professional wrestling for sure. You can find the Source Wrestling Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Follow us on X. Follow us on everything. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Once again, this is the Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast, and we want you to rate the show and follow the show because that's the bottom line, as Stone Cold said so, with Joe and Mike. Yeah. Next time, let us talk to you again.
Let us talk to you, America and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.